skyrocketing murder rate.
It's bad. Can this strategy turn things around?
Most people in the world probably wouldn't understand. Wait a minute, you're trying to build a country up by destroying it. But
like, she could be walking out of there today, and I'm in total shock. I mean, everything that's happened, it's basically like you almost have to film and watch somebody commit a crime.
4-year-old Islam was killed by police, shot on the family's balcony while giving water to protesters.
Hi, my name is Tamika Vaughn, and I'll be doing my persuasive speech on stopping the violence. You've seen in the beginning, I did a few clips on like current events that happened in the world that were pretty violent. But consider this. An almost unthinkable scenario, a world without violence, where no child is abused, no wife is battered, no friend is raped, no one of your family members or friends are murdered. A world without terror, without threats, without wounds from intentional actions. Where the strong provide for the vulnerable, where the vulnerable become empowered, where every kind of family is safe and secure, and girls and boys and women and men have a fair and equal chance of the pursuit of happiness. A world without violence. Peace. We can't even imagine that. There has been violence from the beginning of time to ensure our survival. They say only the strong will survive and the weak will perish, but does that include the innocent, the young and the old? In the last month in Oakland, California, a 3-year-old was shot and killed on August 8th. Police have said that the shooting was gang-related and that 2 other men wounded in the shooting were the intended targets. A life. What would life be like if you didn't have to worry about your children? Your children could just go out and play. In some neighborhoods, you can do that. In some countries, you can do that. But in other countries, you can't. You can't do that. The top 10 most dangerous cities in the U.S., starting with number 10, Stockton, California. Number 9, Rockford, Illinois. Number 8, Baltimore. Number 7, Little Rock, Arkansas. Number 6, Oakland, California. Number 5, Memphis, Tennessee. Number 4, New Haven, Connecticut. Number 3, St. Louis. Number 2, Detroit. Number 1, Flint, Michigan. The top 10 most dangerous cities in the world. At number 1, Bogota, Colombia. Number 2, Ciudad Juárez, Mexico. Number 3, St. Louis, Missouri. Don't know how that made the list, honestly. And it's number 3 on the other list also. Number 4, Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Haiti is among the 4 most important countries for drug transit to the U.S. Kidnapping, murders, death threats, drug-related shootouts, carjackings, armed robberies, and home break-ins are common. Number 5, Mogadishu, Somalia. Murder, kidnapping, illegal roadblocks, battery, and other violent incidents and threats to American citizens and other foreigners can occur in Mogadishu, as well as any other region in Somalia. Unpredictable armed conflicts among rival militias are prevalent in and around the city. Terrorist attacks, cross-border warring, and brutal violent street crime wreck the country on a daily. Number 6, Caracas, Venezuela. Armed robberies are common in the city, even in areas presumed safe and visited by tourists. Express kidnappings in which victims are seized and attempted to get quick cash in exchange for their release are a problem. Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea is number 7. If you decide to travel there, you are at greater risk of violent crimes such as rape and robbery. Also, carjacking, stoning of vehicles, pickpocketing, armed robbery are problems in and around the city. Visiting unguarded public sites such as golf courses, beaches, parks, or cemeteries can also be dangerous to visitors. At number 8, Gonzi, Chechnya, Russia. Gangsters, mob, corruption create problems for little remaining authority. Organized crime is rampant. Political and criminal murder, as well as rape rates, are very high, and kidnapping are serious issues. Some destroyed buildings are being rebuilt, but many continue to live without electricity or water. Number 9, Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. While mugging and pickpocketing are the most common crimes amongst tourists, reports of violence against both locals, foreigners, and are growing, and reports of car theft have increased. Number 10 is Mosaddegh, Kashmir, Pakistan. Organized crime in Pakistan, including drug trafficking, forged Indian currency printing, extortion, murder for hire, and fraud. Furthermore, other criminal operations engage in human trafficking, black marketeering, corruption, political violence, and abduction, including terrorism, and etc. Other violent crimes: trafficking of women. Trafficking in women has been described as structural, meaning that it affects thousands of individuals worldwide and often requires complex interaction between individual traffickers, international criminal networks, and state structures. The U.S. government estimates that 800,000 to 900,000 people are trafficked across international borders annually. And the 2005 Trafficking Persons Report estimates that up to 80% of those are women, and girls are up to 50% are minors. In addition, millions of people around the world live in situations of forced labor and commercial sexual exploitation. Domestic violence is among violent crimes, and it goes both ways. That is the most common crime within the household. Sexual assault, and that includes rape and molestation. A few of my suggestions in stopping the violence is the police need to police. Random sweep days where they come in and sweep the neighborhood of any drugs and guns. Depends on the neighborhood. Not all neighborhoods are safe. Not all neighborhoods have drugs and guns and are of that magnitude of violence. But I think the police need to patrol, and stop making deals with the gangs. There's a park in Riverside somewhere. I think it's like in a Mexican gang territory where they just cleaned up. Well, the lieutenant of the crime unit made a deal with the gang, basically saying, if you tag, I won't. If you tag on the park, I'm coming to your neighborhood and doing a sweep. But if you don't tag, I won't mess with you. So those police deals need to stop. What we can do to clean up our streets as a community, I think we should have more Stop the Violence days. I think protesting should go on in a nonviolent manner. Report a crime. I know this sounds crazy, but most people don't commit crimes when they're the victim or if they witness the crime, because they're afraid of the repercussions of being a victim again, or for the first time, of just committing that or reporting that crime. After school programs to keep kids off of the streets. I remember growing up that I was in an after school program. I was in several, actually. We called it recreation. It was across the street from my junior high school, and we actually went there. It was community based, and you played games. You played outside. It was at a big park, but it was a community center, and a lot of kids went there to stay off of the streets. One of my friends didn't actually make it to that, to that after school program. Let's just say he got caught up in drugs, and he was actually, not drugs, but gangs, and was murdered at the age of 13 years old. And I played sports. Get into a sports program if you can. There are programs for our kids that are free. You don't necessarily have to pay for these programs. Like for the YMCA, they do that also. And to take it to a local state representative level, you can continuously go to your city council meetings and complain about the violence in your neighborhood. That is one of the ways we can start to clean up these streets in the U.S. I mean, you can do so much for people overseas. From my personal experience being in the military, I think the UN should take care of that stuff. But in closing, we can't sit up here and blame the media, the government, the mothers, the absent fathers, or the fathers who have absent mothers in their lives. We can't blame the drugs. We can't blame Reaganomics, and I mean, we can't blame the children either. We can't continue to blame and point fingers. What we need to do is take a stance, and let's stop the violence and build a better future for our kids and for future generations. Thank you.